You think you know what is real and what isn't. What is light? What is dark? Now, forget all you know. Come with me.
I mean, you know, it stopped at the end of the 80s, and if you talk to our co-executive producer and good friend Ron Howard, he would tell you, you know, he missed the boat a little bit because the real golden age of sword and sorcery began with The Lord of the Rings and The Fellowship of the Ring coming out. Those movies really changing the way we all thought about movies and the kind of stories we could tell on the screen. And then the amazing Game of Thrones and what David Benioff and Dan Weiss were able to do on television with what Peter Jackson had done in the movie theaters really ushered in sort of a golden age now of this. But what's forgotten is that preceding that age and preceding the sort of brave moment where Peter Jackson moved this whole genre forward, there was this crop of great movies, including Lady Hawk and Labyrinth and Legend, and they were all made by brilliant filmmakers. Never-Ending Story, Wolfgang Petersen, you know. These were genius artists doing sort of some of their best work in a genre that was struggling to find a mass audience the way Star Wars had or the way that Superman had. And it's an interesting period for the genre because the effects were evolving. They were trying to catch up to the audience's expectations. And then with Peter Jackson and Fellowship, I think they really did. Never, because I had come off of working on Solo, which was a prequel, and you're frustrated often by the problems that presents, which is that, you know your protagonist is going to survive. You know he's going to make it to the end, and it takes a little bit of the air and jeopardy and tension out of your story. So when I sort of started eyeing Willow, which was quite early on in the Lucasfilm process, it was always with the intention of bringing Warwick back, putting that character into incredible peril, and seeing if he would survive yet another adventure. I mean, one of the things that's so wonderful about Warwick is his vulnerability. Physically, emotionally, he makes every audience member connect with him in terms of a person who is in a dangerous world and feels small and insignificant and vulnerable, you know? So that's one of the gifts of this thing, and Warwick brought it back in a big way. Yeah, no, I mean, this show is really designed for a younger audience, and for that reason, you know, I thought that one of the reasons I was attracted to this property was because it had inherent in it a young adult story about a girl who, a baby in the movie and a girl in the series who's coming into her power and trying to understand how she's going to use that power and how to control it and how to, you know, manage it as she's managing her emotions and the complications of friendships and romance and all those things. And I thought that was a very relatable theme, at least to me, about growing up, you know, and it runs through Harry Potter and it runs through, you know, Twilight, and it runs through a lot of great stories about being young. And I thought this had the potential to be that, but with this very fun element of a mentor figure who's reluctantly in that position in Warwick.
We must go beyond the edge of our world, into the unknown.
Willow!
I need your help.
Just like old times. Attack! Running! Horses! Mayhem! Mayhem! Happy to see you, Andy.